The sixth house is where you overgive, overwork, and overfunction, and don't realize it until your body shuts down. The sixth house is the part of your chart where responsibility becomes invisible, where stress disguises itself as productivity, and where your body stores everything you didn't have time to feel. So most astrologers and, astrology content will say simply that the sixth house is the house of work and health. And that is definitely true, but it goes a lot deeper than that. And in this series, and specifically in this video where we're talking about wellness, we have to discuss the elephant in the room. When our health breaks down, when we don't feel well, when we have a physical ailment, it's not just, oh, look at the sign of your sixth house and try to figure it out. It's look at the characteristics of your sixth house and to see where things are out of whack, where things are imbalanced, and where, like I said before, you're overgiving, you're overworking, or your current system and structure doesn't support optimum health. And in this video, we will be discussing that in detail. So if you want to know more, stick around. You definitely don't want to miss this. Hello, my loves. As always, I hope that this video will find you well and in excellent spirits. So welcome to day 2 of my wellness and astrology series here on YouTube. And today we're exploring the sixth house, the house of health, habits, daily work, and the tiny patterns that quietly shape your entire life. Now, the sixth house isn't the most glamorous part of the chart. It's not your 7th house of marriage. It's not your 10th house of career, or it's not even your 5th house of relationships and children. The 6th house really covers your everyday life, your everyday habits, the things you do on a daily basis, and the effect that those habits have on your physical health. Long story short, the 6th house, it's the reality check. It's the mirror of your daily functioning. And it's the routines that keep you grounded or keep you overwhelmed. Oftentimes when we think about physical ailments, when we think about illnesses, we think about what's actively happening, right? My stomach hurts, my head hurts, I broke my arm, or whatever it is. But behind that injury, behind that illness is a reason, is something that led to that. And the secret to that, maybe not even the secret, but the key to that is the characteristics of your 6th house in your natal chart. The sign, the planets in your 6th house, your 6th house ruler, it could tell you a lot, not just about perhaps how you're prone to getting sick or how different types of ailments would be quote unquote natural to you. But it can also show the remedy. It can also show what you can do to feel better. That's one of the reasons why I absolutely love astrology. It tells you literally everything. So when it comes to your health, I want you to think of it in broader terms. It's not just, okay, I have COPD, or I have this, or I have that. What in my daily life contributes to my physical health? That's everything that the 6th house entails. So here is why all of this even matters. And here's the problem that I think many people overlook. Most people don't actually realize how much their everyday life is contributing to their stress. I mean, it's not to say that people are blind to it. Clearly, if you have a stressful job, if you're working and you've got a family to take care of, those are active stressors. However, it's the little things that can contribute to stress and overwhelm on a regular basis. Now, the 6th house is often associated with the sign of Virgo because in sort of the natural layout of the natal chart, Virgo falls as the 6th house. And what is Virgo known for? Perfectionism and details. And so it follows that your physical health has a lot to do with your daily details, the things you do on a daily basis. The sign of Virgo also gets associated with health generally. People like to say that those who have prominent Virgo placements typically tend to be health conscious. Now, in examining hundreds of natal charts, I will say that that's not a blanket statement that is necessarily true. I think that Virgo can be very acutely aware of health issues, but not every Virgo is health conscious. However, the one thing that Virgo can do very well, if they are indeed health conscious, is understand what daily habits you need in order to lead a healthy lifestyle. Okay? And it doesn't always necessarily have to do with food, right? A healthy lifestyle is body, mind, and spirit. And when you can figure out what daily actions to take to have optimal health in those areas, this is when you become healthier, right? So you think you need a new job, you think you need a new diet or even a new wellness plan, but the truth is your sixth house reveals the exact daily habits that drain you and the habits that heal you. Again, it's like astrology, particularly your natal chart, will show you the issue and simultaneously the remedy. This is the house where burnout begins. This is the house where resentment accumulates. This is the house where self-neglect becomes autopilot, where it becomes automatic. And unless you understand what your sixth house is trying to show you, you keep repeating the same cycles over and over and over again. And speaking of understanding your sixth house, let's get into the sixth house and delineate it by sign and by element. So I'll be grouping these by element. So the first element we'll talk about is fire. So let's say that your sixth house is either Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Your system needs motion, like you would need physical activity. You process stress physically. If you stay still too long, if you're too stagnant physically, your emotions get trapped. And so for you, routine burnout comes from forcing yourself into a rigid schedule that suffocates your energy. Fire needs to burn. And if you don't allow it to burn, you'll be prone to things like inflammation, like joint issues. Aries rules the head. You could be prone to migraines or chronic headaches. Leo rules the heart. Stagnant energy could be a precursor to heart disease. Sagittarius rules the hips. This could be hip issues, joint issues for you. But the most important thing to remember as a fire sign sixth house, movement is your thing. Physical movement is your thing. And so if you find that you're having a stagnancy in your daily life, shake it up with some movement. Next, let's talk about an earth sixth house. So this would be if you have Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn as your sixth house. Your body needs predictability, regular meals, consistent rituals, a sense of order. Your stress shows up when life feels chaotic or rushed. Earth signs need stability. So having a regular routine for you is key to feeling healthy. This could be waking up at the same time every day and then meditating and then maybe making your favorite, matcha latte in the morning. And I'm talking to Taurus, Taurus six houses there, for example. Stability is what keeps everything in homeostasis for you. Taurus rules the throat. And so if you have chronic sore throats or throat issues, it could be because you're all over the place. You know how, especially during, cold season, especially if you're overworking, the first thing to go is your throat. If you've got an earth sign sixth house, this is something you need to pay particular attention to. To my Virgo sixth housers, you guys have very sensitive digestive systems. If you are constantly on the go, you're not eating well, or if you're experiencing a lot of external activity that is affecting your digestion, That's a sign for you to provide more stability and less chaos in your life. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Capricorn has a lot to do with the bones. If you don't have a strong skeletal system, it's very hard for you to do things. If you're constantly breaking bones, if you've got brittle bones, even, Capricorn can be prone to that, or prominent Capricorn energy can be prone to that. But either way, you guys don't do well feeling rushed, chaotic, and when you cannot adhere to a particular schedule. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Next, let's talk about an air sixth house, which means that your sixth house in your natal chart is either Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Your mind leads your wellness. I'm going to repeat that again. For my air sign sixth housers, your mind leads your wellness. If your mental space is cluttered, your physical health follows. You need light structure, not strict structure. Everything is mental. That's one of the universal laws. And when it comes to your physical health as an air sign sixth houser, it begins in your mind. The thing that's coming to mind right now is like hypochondria, and it's not to say that if you have an air sixth house, you have hypochondria or you're a hypochondriac, not in the least. But I'm using that as an example where you may not be physically sick, however, you are convincing yourself that you are. Your health begins in your mind. And so what you ingest mentally has a direct impact on your physical health, more so because you have an air sign sixth house. So it's really important that you, above all other signs, pay attention to your mental diet. That's really going to have a very direct impact on your physical health. And then finally, let's talk about water sixth houses. So if you have Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces as your sixth house, then this directly applies to you. Your wellness begins with your emotions. Your body reacts to your feelings almost immediately, if not immediately. Rest, emotional release, heavy on the emotional release, and softness will always be your healing tools. A tumultuously emotional environment will always affect you directly. If your daily life has a lot of emotional ups and downs, and the thing that's coming to mind right now is, let's say that you work in the healthcare field. Like, let's say you are a hospice nurse and you've got water as your sixth house. You're obviously very much a healer because clearly that's what you do on a daily basis. However, that feeling of losing a patient regularly or patients that are coding all the time, that could have a very important impact on your physical health. So being able to find emotional release strategies to do on a regular basis, incorporating softness and joy and things that bring you emotional satisfaction in your daily life is going to be key. So I want you all to understand exactly what I've explained here about how that sixth house can really lead to your physical illnesses, but it can also show you how to overcome them. So it really behooves you to take the time to look at your sixth house. And we're not even going to go yet into the specifics of what planets you have there, the sixth house ruler, and all of that. Just look at the sign of your sixth house and try to delineate and try to understand perhaps the physical ailments that you suffer with, either chronically or acutely, and how they fit into the characteristics of that sign. That's definitely a worthwhile endeavor. So now, you always have to understand that we live in a dualistic society and you can't talk about the good without talking about the not so good. And so here's the shadow side concerning the sixth house that I think no one really talks about. The shadow side of the sixth house is martyrdom. The sixth house, apart from being the house of work and health, it is the house of service. It's the house where it details how you serve. And if you are serving until you're empty, that can have a very big impact on your physical health, obviously. And so when it comes to your sixth house and the shadow side of it being martyrdom, you serve until you're empty. You shoulder more than you can carry. You ignore your body's warnings because people, quote unquote, need you. And you normalize exhaustion. And the final straw with all of that is that your body eventually says enough and shuts down. Or before it shuts down, it gives you a warning sign via pain that, hey, this isn't working anymore. I can't keep serving like this. I can't keep giving from an empty cup. When your sixth house is ignored, the result is always the same. Your body starts speaking louder than your habits. If there's anything that you take away from this video, it should be this. Your habits are directly correlated to your physical health, and your sixth house in your natal chart will show you that every single time. So it's really important that you focus on, or perhaps meditate on, are you overgiving in the sixth house sense? In your daily routine, are you giving too much? Are you all over the place? Examining your sixth house is not only a worthwhile endeavor for your physical health, but it can show you whether or not you are feeding into that shadow side of the sixth house, which is martyrdom. Fear not, though. It's not all doom and gloom. So here's a wellness tip, and here's how you can shift the energy here as we discuss the sixth house. Start with one, and I'm literally one, just one daily ritual based on your sixth house element. Not a full routine, not a daily overhaul, not a whole thing, just one daily ritual. Remember what I said before, the sixth house is associated with Virgo, and Virgo is all about the details. You don't have to do this whole Piscean overhaul and change your ideology. Start with one tangible thing that you can do every day based on your sixth house element. Just one grounding act that reminds your body, I'm listening. So if you have a sixth house fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, it could be 5 minutes of movement. Go outside for a walk. Go on the treadmill real quick. Literally just 5 minutes is all you need to shift that energy. If you have a sixth house earth sign, so that's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, a simple grounding sensory ritual, right? You can go outside. I mean, it's winter now, so maybe not barefoot, but go out in nature, maybe meditate even. But whatever it is, it's a grounding sensory ritual. If you've got an air sign for your sixth house, so that is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, a quick plan or breath work. I think breath work is great, especially something that's just a couple of minutes. It can definitely not only reset the energy, but reset your physical body. And then finally, if you've got a water sign sixth house, so that's Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, an emotional check-in before the world enters your energy, meaning before you start going out into the world and serving and absorbing the energy that's around you, quick emotional check-in with yourself. How do I feel? That's important because once you start going out into the world, it's important that you set boundaries so that how you feel doesn't get commingled with how everyone else is feeling. You don't heal your sixth house through discipline. You heal it through alignment. And this is a really important point because the sixth house being work and health, it's a very tangible house, meaning that it's the house of your daily habits, the things that you do. And so people will automatically think, well, when it comes to my physical health and my physical well-being, I need to be more disciplined. And that is part of it. But there's nothing worse than being disciplined in the wrong thing. If you are a water sign sixth house, yet you are doubling down on physical movement or creating structure via a schedule or something like that, you may be disciplined, but you're not disciplined and in alignment. For you, discipline would look like taking 5 minutes every day before you go into work, like as you sit in the parking lot before you go into work, meditating, calming your nerves, an emotional check-in, right? So again, it's not just about discipline, it is about discipline and alignment. Like I said before, the sixth house isn't the most glamorous house, right? But it's super important because it's the part of the chart that people tend to overlook because of its lack of sexiness. But it's the part of the chart that can change everything. Not in an eighth house sort of way when we're talking about transformation and regeneration and rebirth. But the minute that you start changing your habits, you are shifting the energy in your life and thus shifting the energy when it comes to your physical health. When I work with clients, this is usually where the breakthroughs happen. Not because something dramatic appears in their chart, but more so because I'm able to pinpoint a daily habit or something that they do on the regular that if they just shifted, and by shift, I mean get in alignment with their natal chart, with how they are designed, that they finally change, that something finally happens, that there's finally either an aha moment or a physical change within their daily routine and their physical health. So it doesn't take a whole existential overhaul of your life. It's literally looking at your sixth house and taking action in alignment with it. It can literally be as simple as that. So just remember, you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. Your routine just maybe isn't built for your energy. And once you realize how you are designed, that's when you can make significant change. So if you want to understand your wellness style on a deeper level, I have this cute little self-care signature quiz so you can understand your self-care archetype. It's really cute, it's really fun, and it gives you more insight into your sixth house and kind of everything I discussed here in this video. So if you're interested, the link will be in the description box below. It shows how your chart processes stress, rest, and most importantly, your daily routine so that you can build a rhythm that feels natural to your body. All right, my loves, that's pretty much all I've got for you for this particular video. Hopefully it was informative. Let me know in the comments below, what is your sixth house sign? All right, I look forward to reading all of your comments. For information on all of my offerings, how we can work together, fun freebies, and all of that, you'll find all of that information in the description box below. All right, my loves, thanks so much for tuning into this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.